Hey guys, Gogsy here, and welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since we talked about Motherwell properly, so I thought I'd bring in my good friend Stephen Reeside. How's it going, mate?
Hey, how you doing, Gogs? Good to be here, mate.
Aye, it's all good. And today we're previewing Motherwell versus Celtic. Now, of course, Celtic is very well known at the moment. They're not in the best of form that they've had over the last couple of years. I mean, I think this is the worst run of form they've had that I can remember since, for example, their previous manager, Brendan Rodgers, Neil Lennon came in. And yeah, now it's what, 1-1 and 6, is it?
Something like that, yeah. 1-1-6.
Not very good considering they're playing us next. You know what Motherwell are like, don't you?
Yeah, if you want 3 points, Motherwell's the team that you want to play, to be honest.
Absolutely. Now we've got some talking points to dance around the game before we actually get into our prediction. So first of all, we're going to look back on our previous results. For example, Motherwell last two games we've scored 6, conceded 0. Talk us through the Livingston game, Stevie. Now, of course, I couldn't really watch the game much, but I'm assuming you got the full 90 under your belt.
Yeah, I managed to watch it. It was one of the games, mate, where the wind played a big part, and we chose to actually switch sides. We won the coin toss, which gave us the benefit of having the wind behind us in the first half, and that played into our hands, because it allowed us to create a couple of chances. The Banty Cole, I remember having one, but the two goals, Callum Lang cuts in after getting the through ball for the Banty Cole, takes it really well, puts it through the legs of the goalkeeper, and then what I believe a pivotal time to score just before half time. We get a free kick outside the box, and Mark O'Hara very smartly goes under the wall. It rebounds off the goalkeeper, and Tony Watt taps it in, and we managed to see it out. What impressed me most was the fact how defensively solid we looked, particularly with Mark O'Hara coming in and playing at centre half. And I'm sure you'll agree, his two performances,
Yeah.
Ross County and the last week against Livingston, have been very impressive. Because as well as we've got Declan Gallagher winning headers, putting in tackles, he is that ball playing centre half when he's not afraid to pass out for the back. So we've got a good balance there, I believe, now, and we're scoring goals up front, so it's looking good.
Yeah, and for once, I actually believe, like, I mean, at the start of the season, it was completely the opposite. Like, we were playing at a low ebb, and we didn't know where the next goal was coming from at times. But now we're actually we've added goals to our game. We've signed Devante Cole back. We've got Callum Lang playing well, and Tony Watt. And the fact he's back fit, he's just one player of the month for the last month, and that's all down to his fitness and his work ethic. And I thought that was absolutely well deserved.
Yeah, you have to say it's very well deserved. He seems to have beefed up a wee bit. He looks more of a tank this year. I think he was carrying a wee bit of timber towards towards the back end of last season, which I'm sure he'll be the first to admit himself. But if you look at our form as well, the games that we have lost, the last team to beat us outside the Old Firm was Hamilton.
I mean, the last 3 defeats we've had have all been against teams that have actually gone on to qualify for the Europa League group stage, as Robbo said in his interview.
And I think as Motherwell fans, I think we can forgive getting beat off the likes of Rangers and Celtic and teams that are financially better than us, as long as we're picking up points against your likes of your Livingston, your Ross Counties, your St Johnstones, for example.
Yeah.
Then we'll be up there towards the end of the season. And that was the problem at the start of the season. We weren't getting the goals. We've had a great chance to have a great start to the season, and we didn't manage to do it. But as you said, we've got the Van Cole one now. Strikers play off our confidence, and Tony Watt seems to be banging a few in. And Lang's not afraid of a goal as well now.
In my opinion, I actually think we've got a stronger squad than last season.
We spoke about this on the stream that we did tonight. Towards the back end of last season, we weren't going to finish third if the league didn't get stopped. I don't think it's any secret. But I actually look forward to watching Motherwell play now, because it's exciting. We've got power, we've got pace up front, and we've got dig in the midfield in Cameron Maguire and the creativity and power. So, as I say, there's a great balance throughout the whole squad at the minute.
Yeah, so now we're going to talk about Celtic's form. Now, of course, it's been very well documented everywhere that we look right now. That Celtic's form since they beat St Johnstone 2-0 on the 4th of October, they've lost 2-0 to Rangers, they've lost to AC Milan 3-1. They drew against Aberdeen and Lille before beating Aberdeen in the Cup. And then they got heavily beaten by Sparta Prague, who were ranked the lowest team in the competition left from the opening 2 games of their group. But I honestly don't think this is worth taking note at all. To go and say that Motherwell are potentially the informed team going into this fixture, you've got to take into account that Celtic are playing higher quality opponents week in, week out. The fact that they are still in the Europa League, whereas we got beat by a team that's now in the group stage.
Yeah, and I think Stephen Robinson touched on it in his pre-match interview, where he says that we're going to have to be at our best, and we absolutely will, because you look at the quality that Celtic have going forward, and Christie, Edwards, Rogic, they've got players there that, if given time, they will hurt us. But on the same note, I think that we can go here, or go into the game rather, with confidence that we can hurt them, particularly if Shane Duffy's playing, because as I say, we've got that pace up front, and he just seems to not be able to cope with pace. I mean, the guy that scored a hat-trick last night, Jolich, is a part-time electrician. You know what I mean? So, and I think he switched on the disco lights himself on Thursday, but no. As I say, it's all about how we defend. The last couple of times Celtic have came to Fir Park, we've tried to go toe-to-toe with them, and they've come out 5-2 and I believe 4-0 winners in the 2 games. Yeah, I think we need to make ourselves hard to beat. We need to soak up a lot of pressure, and we need to try and hit them on the counter attack. And if we manage to keep it 0-0, the longer we manage to keep it 0-0, the more confident I'll get as the game goes. But touching on their form, they'll win, and he needs a result, doesn't he?
I've said time and time again, look, Motherwell's the team to end any run possible. If your team's coming to Fir Park on the back of 9 straight victories, we'll pump you as 5-0. And it'll be vice versa. If the team's coming on the back of 10 games without a win, they'll thump us 5-0. So it really depends on which Motherwell team does turn up. But if we somehow end our rut against Celtic, because it's nearly 5 years since we've last beat them.
Yeah.
If we somehow get a result on Sunday, does this make the jacket fall off the peg for Neil Lennon?
I think he's out the door. And I don't like saying that because my dad used to be a coach at Celtic. I know Neil. Do you know what I mean? He's a great coach. But it's the biggest season in Celtic's history. And any drop points, even if it's a draw, is as good as a loss to them at the minute, because they're 9 points behind Rangers as it is. I know that they've got those 2 games in hand, but with the way they're playing just now, Goggsy, they're not guaranteed to get 3 points in the game in hand against Aberdeen. You would expect them to beat St Mirren, but the Aberdeen game is no foregone conclusion. And what I will say, can you remember the game this season where Celtic have dominated from start to finish?
Not at all. And we've basically covered a vast majority of the Celtic and Rangers games on Pass the Mic. And you can like the difference between Rangers and Celtic this season. Rangers will get the job done in the first 20 minutes, and it'll be a really terrible game after that, because they'll score 2 or 3 goals in the first half, and then that's the game. Absolutely solid, and they've got the 3 points. Whereas Celtic, they leave it late.
Yeah, I agree, but I think the main difference is you almost feel like Celtic's defence has a mistake in it at any point. You look at the Rangers defence and you look at the clean sheet record. Once they get a goal, you're going to find it very hard to get back into that game. Whereas with Celtic, as long as you keep it at 1-0, maybe even 2-0, you feel that if you can get a goal, then you're back in the game. Because, as I say, they've got mistakes at the back.
Yeah, and as much as football's a physical game, it's a much more mental game nowadays. And I think, mentally, Celtic aren't all there.
There's a lot of pressure on them, particularly because Rangers have the advantage.
Yeah, I would definitely say so, because even if Celtic claw back those 2 games, they've still got 3 points to gain on them. And, well, of course, they'll have Rangers another 3 times in the league this season. So it can go the distance. But if Celtic start dropping more points, the distance between them and Rangers is just going to get further and further apart. Now, of course, I mean, I'm not expecting Rangers to go the whole season and winning every game, because even in the next 5 weeks, there will be a game where Rangers, I think, will drop a couple of points. But I think they've actually got the room to drop points, because I think they're better than Celtic this season.
What they do have as well, Gogs, is they've got a good run of fixtures this month where they can be expect to pick up points, where the Celtic have got to come to us on Sunday at Fir Park, and they've also got Hibs this month as well, only. So they get games. This is a big month for Celtic. Celtic need to end this month within touching distance of Rangers, because I don't think that they're going to catch them, because I just don't, at the end of this month, because I just don't see when Rangers are going to drop points at the minute. But if Celtic can stay within them, then maybe they can claw this back. But I think I've heard people touch on it. It just feels like Celtic are going backwards under Neil Lennon at the minute.
Yeah.
It feels like they're regressing as a club.
The thing is, we've seen this before. Like in Lennon's previous spell, I'm pretty sure there was a spell like this, but they pulled through. Like, it's always difficult playing against a wounded animal.
And that's the one thing that worries me, is that wounded animal. Because Griffith, you see it, Griffiths is getting more and more game time, and anytime he comes on, he makes something happen at the minute. So is it going to get to the point where they start him on Sunday?
What?
Is it going to get to the point where they start him on Sunday? Because he's played quite a bit of game time now.
I know.
And that would worry me if he was starting, because he's just a goal machine.
He is. He actually is. Now, moving on. Talk to me. How would you line up against Celtic on Sunday?
I think with our form and the position that we're in, the team basically picks itself at the minute. So I'll go from my 11.
Yeah, go on.
I went with Chapman in goal. The 4-3-3, by the way. O'Donnell, Gallagher, O'Hara, and McGinley.
Yeah.
At the back four. Maguire just sitting in front of the defence, with Campbell and Polworth as the other two centre mids. And up front, we've got Lang, Watt, and Cole. And if the Banty Cole's not fit, then Chris Long comes in.
Yeah. But I'm not too keen on Long this season.
Again, we say that strikers are confidence players. He's just not managed to get the goals this season.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's a bad player, but we've discussed this. You look at the way that he signed the contract.
Yeah.
It was as if he was waiting, and then he signed. So I don't really know if his head's in Motherwell at the minute. No. I think he wanted to find a move elsewhere. But the good thing is for us is that we've not needed him this season, because the other three boys have stepped up to the plate. So
thankfully, I mean, it did take a while for everyone to get going, but we're now reaping the rewards. And the fact we brought in Cole, I mean, he's fitted like a glove into the team.
Devante Cole's not going to get you 20 goals a season, right?
No.
But what he will do is he'll put in a lot of hard work where his strike partners will benefit from it. Because I think you've seen when he was in the team last season, that's when Chris Long was in the best form. When Devante Cole was playing up there well. That's when he was getting a lot of his goals. It's good to have him back, as you say. But I think if we line up the way that I've said, if we make ourselves hard to beat, and if Shane Duffy plays for Celtic,
there's a chance.
There's a chance.
Like, he is the Effie Ambrose of this season.
He's probably the worst Celtic centre half I've seen since Effie Ambrose. There you go.
But
it goes to show as well, doesn't it? Sorry, but in there that
no, that's fine.
The amount of players that have came from England up to Scotland, like Joey Barton, Philippe Senderos, like they've struggled.
We've seen the stat leaked on Twitter. In 8 games that Celtic have played this season without Shane Duffy at the back, they've only conceded four goals. Whereas in the 11 games that he's played, they've conceded 16.
Stats don't lie.
Stats don't lie.
They don't lie. And Celtic need Ayer and Julian back as quick as possible.
Yeah.
They're literally playing a centre mid, and it's no secret that I've got a disability and a guy that I can move quicker than at centre half at the minute. That's who they've got at centre back.
Yeah. You're spot on. But what is your prediction for Sunday?
Prediction. Do you know what? It's the most confident I've been in a long time going into play Celtic. I still don't think we'll win.
It's a
But
dangerous thing, confidence, mate.
I don't think we'll get beat either, Dogsy.
You think we'll
I
get
think it'll be Motherwell 2, Celtic 2.
Yeah, I would happily take that. Anything against Celtic or Rangers, as we always say, it's a bonus. But you know what? For the sake of this video, for the sake of the likes, I'm gonna say we'll win 2-1.
And we know how it's going to go. It's going to come back and bite us in the arse. And we're going to get beat 5-0. But why not be confident at this point?
Exactly.
We've got every reason to be confident.
Hopefully, we'll be speaking after the game on Sunday in a state of elation.
Well, I hope so. I do hope so. And the difference between this game at Fir Park and the game against Rangers, we're not travelling back to Israel this time. We get fresh legs. So
absolutely, we've not had a Thursday game.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this wee preview. And if you want to do, if you want to subscribe to Stevie's channel, here's your chance to plug it, mate.
You can do it. It's a different view, all one word, and then a space in football, and you'll find it. Trying to get to 300, hopefully by the end of next week. I'm only 8 away, so surely there's 8 people watching this video that will click that subscribe button for me.
Aye, please do. And yeah, thank you very much for coming on, Stevie. And if you do want Stevie to come back and feature on the channel for future previews, I mean, if you want to see a preview, then let us know in the comments. And yeah, without any further ado, thanks very much for coming on, Stevie. Thanks for watching. And here's hoping Motherwell can pick up the 3 points on Sunday.